Islam Makhachev had a stellar performance in his UFC lightweight championship fight against Charles Oliveira. Makhachev put Dubronx away in the second round via arm triangle submission to lay claim to the 155-pound gold. McGregor was quick to hop on Twitter and shared intrigue in an attempt to crack the code of Makhachev. Let's have the news in detail. Make sure you stick with me to the end of the video. Without any further delay, let's get into it. The after effect of Conor McGregor's claim to having the tools to defeat Islam Makhachev. Jake Paul warned Conor McGregor that Islam Makhachev will do to him exactly what Khabib Nurmagomedov did back in 2018. Makhachev emulated Khabib by winning the UFC lightweight title on Saturday night. He brought the title back to Russia after Nurmagomedov vacated the belt after retiring at a perfect 29-0. One of those victories was a dominant performance over McGregor, and the Irishman has never looked the same since. In a message directed at Makhachev that had since been deleted, McGregor wrote, "Nice fight, nice performance. I have built all the tools to beat this style now versus before. Experience versus face-breaking shots from clinch and baby brain batter shots from bottom, and the rest of my repertoire you know. Steel left leg, cannon backhand, wrist control." In the same post, he stated that the thought of shutting down this system of fighting with his own developed system is quite intriguing to him. Whoever of them against, it's not personal. It's a skill evaluation and a fight, even through generations. The IMAAF's amateurs, a war of attrition to the box, he further highlighted. McGregor has only fought 3 times since that loss to Khabib 4 years ago. One was a victory over Donald Cerrone, followed by back-to-back losses against Dustin Poirier. The 34-year-old suffered a gruesome fractured tibia and is still battling to return to the octagon, with Dana White effectively confirming he is not in the USADA drug testing pool and will have to enter that for 6 months before competing again. Writing on Twitter, Jake Paul, who is known for ruffling feathers himself, responded to McGregor's tweets, and he put the notorious one on blast. He said that the only tools he has built are Twitter fingers. Islam would Khabib him in 1 round, hence he deleted his tweets. Of course, he also took the time to throw shade at the newly minted UFC lightweight champion. Islam Makhachev, on his part, kept his promise not to call out Conor McGregor if he wins the UFC 280. Asked about McGregor's potential return to the octagon, Makhachev replied that Twitter is the only place where Notorious will make a comeback. The lightweight contender said in a recent appearance on the Full Send podcast, he comes back and just tweeted, that's it. He's always in the Twitter because people almost forget him, and he tried to put something, and he put today something people are gonna talk about him, but I don't believe he's gonna come back. Nelk Boys member Salim asked Makhachev to do him the favor of smashing McGregor in case the Irishman returns. However, unlike others seeking a big payday, the Dagestani standout has no plans of calling out Notorious after winning at UFC 280. Speaking of potential contenders deserving of a title shot, Makhachev named Beneil Dariush and Mateusz Gamrot, who will also clash on the UFC 280 card. The 31-year-old further said that every fighter tried to call him after, but he is not going to call him after the fight because he wants to fight with real fighters who deserve the title shot. Such fighters like Gamrot, Beneil, and other guys. Next up, Dana White confirms Conor McGregor isn't in USADA pool. His return will be delayed until mid-2023 at the earliest. UFC fans will be waiting a little longer than expected for Conor McGregor's eagerly anticipated return to the octagon. The former dual-weight UFC champion has been sidelined ever since he suffered a fractured tibia and fibula at UFC 264 in July 2021. The injury came in a trilogy contest and signified his second straight loss to Poirier. After the incident, McGregor underwent surgery and extensive rehabilitation, openly showing his progress on his social media pages. In recent weeks, McGregor has posted videos of himself sparring and seemingly doing all-out weight-bearing activities on his previously injured leg. Throughout his recovery, McGregor has indicated he plans to return hungrier than ever with championship aspirations on his mind. However, his timeline for doing so is unclear. It was believed that he is gearing up for a comeback fight in the first few months of 2023, but UFC President Dana White has now revealed McGregor's return is at least 6 months away. After watching Islam Makhachev become the lightweight champion at UFC 280, Dana White spoke with assembled media who are curious about when Notorious will fight after watching Beneil Dariush recover from the same injury in just 6 months. One reporter asked the UFC boss if McGregor will be required to undergo 6 months of United States Anti-Doping Agency USADA drug tests before his return, after it was recently revealed the Irishman had not been subjected to any in 2022. The UFC boss nodded along before confirming that McGregor will need to re-enroll in the USADA program and stay in it for 6 months before he fights again. If McGregor was to re-enroll with USADA today, he would be allowed to fight on April 23rd, but it's currently unclear when he will actually dive back into the testing pool. The protocol is commonly noticed when athletes retire while under UFC contract and then decide to later return. The specific reason for McGregor's withdrawal is not known. In contrast to his year in recovery, the former dual-weight UFC champion, who has never failed failed a drug test, was one of the most tested athletes in 2021, with 11 samples taken over the course of the year. Despite being injured, McGregor has managed to seriously bulk up during his time away from the sport, ahead of his move to the welterweight division. However, not everyone is a fan of his new physique, with lightweight contender Justin Gaethje recently claiming, though without any evidence, that Mystic Mac is using performance-enhancing substances. Nonetheless, McGregor has shrugged off unwarranted cheating allegations from his rivals and has recently been combining his workout sessions with shooting a movie. The former lightweight and featherweight title holder has recently been filming Amazon's reimagining of the 1980s classic Roadhouse with Hollywood superstar Jake Gyllenhaal, so it may be some time before he is ready to fully commit himself to a fight camp and be available for the year-round drug tests that come with being a UFC fighter. Wrapping it up, what future awaits Conor McGregor in 2023? Conor McGregor is set to fight Floyd Mayweather in a rematch and has been confirmed at last by Pretty Boy himself. It has been 5 years since the two last met in the boxing ring, when Mayweather delivered a 10th round TKO victory in Las Vegas in August 2017. Now, they're gearing up for a long-awaited round 2, which will take place next year, according to Mayweather himself. While last details are being sorted, Mayweather has hinted that he is now in final negotiations with McGregor about the terms of their rematch. He revealed then that he wanted to go out there and have fun against Mikuru Asakura. He then further stated that he has another exhibition in Dubai in November, and then with Conor McGregor in 2023. He then added that they don't know if it's going to be an exhibition or a real fight, but there's been talks of both, though he said he would prefer an exhibition. When asked if he would prefer the bout to be an exhibition or professional, he said he is only interested in taking on opponents where he doesn't have a chance of being hurt. He added that he is not into fights where he is going to take any real punishment. He said he doesn't really mind colliding with guys that don't hit really hard like Conor McGregor and YouTubers, but not where he is going to put himself in a position where he will have to harm himself or hurt himself. Mayweather's clash with the Notorious proved to be his last professional fight, taking his record to 50 wins and 0 losses or draws. Mayweather, who insists he wouldn't change a single thing about his career, reportedly earned around $280 million from the blockbuster bout. Meanwhile, McGregor took home a reported $130 million from what was his first and only boxing fight. Since then, McGregor had suffered 3 defeats in his last 4 UFC bouts. He has also taken some time away from the octagon after breaking his leg against Dustin Poirier, but he signaled his intentions to return to the ring when attending the Monaco Grand Prix earlier this year. He said that boxing is his first love in combat sports, and that he had such a great time the last time he was out there. Obviously, his return will be in the octagon for UFC. That story is far from over. In fact, it's just being written. It is just the beginning. But boxing for sure, he will grace the squared circle again in the future. That concludes today's video. If you found the video helpful, please do consider giving us a thumbs up, and don't forget to share the video with your friends and family. See you next time.